Hello, hello, JJ DiGeronimo here, and I'm so excited for this week of Together We Seek. This podcast brings me so much joy. It is definitely one of the things in my week that I look back on with tremendous gratitude for the people that cross my path and share their journey as a human, and the gifts they've uncovered, and how they've used those gifts to illuminate the path for themselves and often for others. We are in season 6, which is so exciting. So, because of all of you, we continue these amazing conversations. And I'm so excited to have Rachel Corpus join us today. Hello, Rachel.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today.
This is beautiful. And I'm going to jump right in because today we're going to be talking about remembering your divine nature. So before we jump into your angel work and existence, maybe we could talk a little bit about what is divine nature.
Divine nature is who we actually are. So I'm going to invite everyone to imagine themselves housed in their body, but imagine your body like a perfectly tailored suit or costume. And you are the one that created this with however you define God. That's up to you. And maybe you're in flux about that, but you actually get to define God. You do. But you and God, you and Source, with the help of some angelic beings, probably, you designed this beautiful body of yours like a finely tailored suit. So if you were to unzip that and let it fall into two pieces, who you are inside, that's your divinity. And it is absolutely perfect. And you have come here to Earth to remember your divinity. And the costume you put on is absolutely temporary. It also contains all of your abilities, all of your physical DNA, all of your spiritual DNA, all of the tools, everything that you need is equipped in there. So all of your experiences, everybody you meet, everything that you encounter on earth helps you remember your divinity. And you came here to forget and remember because it's the path. It's the path back to oneness. It's how God grows, it's how we grow, it's how we become the path to enlightenment for each other.
I love that. I love it. So you talk a lot about being an angel in human form. Are
Mhm.
we all angels in human form, or how do you know that you are an angel in human form?
Well, I know that I'm an angel in human form because when I was 4 years old, my family was in a car accident and I had a near death experience. And prior to that, I was a very psychically active child and I was talking to people who had died. I was seeing angelic beings, extraterrestrials. But when I had this car accident, the angels took me to the other side, to the seraphim realm, and they said, "Hey, honey, you're one of us." And I was hearing my 4-year-old voice, plus this voice that you hear, my consciousness, plus my angels, and I got a tour, my first of many tours in this lifetime, because I've gone back many times, of the seraphim realm, and they showed me my locker, my workspace, my home. They showed me what I really look like as an angel, and they told me what my mission was to be, and I was given a choice to stay or to come back. I didn't make the choice consciously. I remembered my mama, and I didn't want her to be sad. So as soon as I had that remembrance, I was back in my body. But as to your question, are we all angels? No, but we are all divine. No one here on earth is human. No one. We've all come from some star structure. We've come from the angelic realm. Everyone is from somewhere. And we have decided individually or as a soul group, we've all decided, or perhaps we have been asked, we're on a mission to come to earth to help each other remember, to grow. And so, again, if we unzip that costume and we look at what's underneath, We're all immigrants. We're all from some other star space, some other heavenly realm, some other dimension.
That is beautiful. And I feel like I can feel your vibration of the pureness of your voice and how your work here is so pointed. So your experience of you being an angel, right? We all come from different makeups, and your makeup is an angel. How do you experience that in your human costume?
It's a beautiful life. It's not always easy. I'm 47 years old, and so I believe I'm in the middle of my human life. And what's happened so far for me is I came in, like I said, psychically gifted, and it was in my blueprint that early in my life I would be told I would be helped to remember that I was an angel so I could begin my mission early. However, I went back and forth in my ego, not wanting to be strange, doubting that I was worthy. And I also encountered many things in my personal journey that I believe helped me to understand the human condition, like addiction, divorce, loss of children, many things that are difficult. Also, I can be a major asshole. I am not always presenting this way. I tend to save it for my family, bless their hearts. But I vacillate between the angelic frequency and the earth frequency because I'm here. I'm here in this realm and it's all sacred. So I guess what I really want to say is there's no obligation to me to always be angelic. We don't always have to be in our spiritual form because we don't need to bypass the earth stuff. We're not supposed to. So I find great pleasure in being a mother and being present with my children. And I've learned to just be quiet and hear what they have to say and not fix. I've worked really hard to be a good wife, an equal partner in my marriage, and to trust the universe as far as taking care of me monetarily, physically, with my body healing. Um, and to trust that everything that comes my way is something that I actually chose. And that is a hard pill to swallow when things in my timeline have included abuse or poverty. But being able to step back and see that from an angel perspective and know that we all choose those things, even though free will is involved, knowing that we choose those themes before we come in has given me a great amount of peace because I know that I can reroute things. I know that I'm in charge of looking at my situation and choosing how to behave and how to glean out the learning that was provided for me. So I'm always navigating my earthly experience and my heavenly experience, and I find that it provides me quite a high vibe. I vibe pretty high.
Yes, I can feel that. I can feel your vibe, and I feel like it's great perspective. And something that we talk about often here is that you are not your experiences, you are the lessons you gain within them. And I
Yes.
think that's a whole mindset shift and vibe shift is that life is happening for you, the good, the bad, the ugly. And
Yep.
that is our responsibility to learn the lessons associated with the experience.
Yes. I completely agree. And
Mhm.
sometimes I've learned that life happens through me, that
Mhm.
even though I was the main character, I was perhaps the one being abused, it wasn't for me, it was my abusers. And I can look into my other lifetimes on earth and I can see the parts that they played then. And I was the abuser. It's my turn to be the other side of the curriculum.
Yeah, that seems hard to swallow. I just got really tight in my throat chakra. And it's funny because I was speaking to this woman in Bend, Oregon yesterday, and she was saying that she did like kind of trace back her relationship with her father energy now that has been in past lives with her, and that they have equal energy. They have
Yes.
pushed and pulled each other equally, which gives her a little bit more freedom to accept and love now that it took her that she wasn't able to do before that. She also said, what you're saying is you've been on the other side. So maybe expanding the listeners, expanding the thought that the person who has hurt you maybe you had hurt them in a different time. And so,
Yes. Yeah, I
that's
think at
really
one point
deep.
we kind of just categorized that as karma. We're repairing karma. It actually is a lot more complex than that.
Mhm.
We sign up together we have big soulmate groups, and these are our teachers, our students. This is our community. This is our soul community. And every time we choose to incarnate in a timeline, we work together with our guides to say, well, how did it go last time? Let's look at our maps. How far do we want to grow this time? How much do we want to push each other? Okay, here's my learning theme. This is what I intend to get out of this lifetime. Do I have any volunteers who want to play these parts? Oh, what would make sense for you to do that? Because, oh, we shared this before. We have this theme, but this time I'm going to be this actor. You be this actor. It's going to be hard because when we're born, we're not going to remember. This is where angels come in because we each have our personal guardian angels. They're the ones that remember the blueprint and can guide us.
Mhm.
That's why angels are important. I'm not a guardian angel. I'm from the seraphim realm. And the way I got here was I picked two beautiful human parents. I was born the natural way. We also have guardian angels who are never in body. And every person has one or two or more of them that help maintain your pre-life choices amidst all the free will stuff that can get a little bit sticky.
This is so great, Rachel, because it's such a great reminder for people that they are not their circumstances.
Yes,
Mhm.
correct.
There's so many
Correct.
questions I want to ask you about channeling, and I want to ask you about the seraphim. But I think before I jump into that, I'd love to talk to you a little bit about the new earth, right? This has been something that was on Oprah years ago. People might have seen it, they might not have picked up on that frequency. But I'd love to get your perspective on the new earth and how our souls are going to participate in this.
Well, let's define the the new earth is actually earth. It's not this earth that we're let me get some guidance from Archangel Gabriel. He always helps me articulate this in the best way. So I'm just going to ask him to join my consciousness here. All right, we're locked in. Very good. Hi, friend. Nice. So if we could give ourselves permission to stop saying New Earth, it's not a wrong term. It's outdated because it's no longer a new construct. Let's look at the Earth timeline as a cable cord. Let's be technical. And the cable cord, it's thick and it's made of streams of multicolored cords and mostly whitish silver cords. This is high vibe stuff. It looks like cable cord. Well, the 3D timeline or the three dimension, that's dead. It died. We have been under the assumption that we're living in the 3D and trying to get to the 5D. It's wrong. 3D died. We're only experiencing the, Gabriel says, the farting out, the ringing of the bell. It's still resonating, but it's done. The bell has been rung. We are just experiencing the ending of that resonance or the smell of the fart, but it's done. We're already in the new timeline. Everyone, even the people that seem like they're not progressing, we're wrong. They're the most sacred of all of us because they already did their growth. They're here to seemingly be zombies because they're holding the earth for us. They Everyone here is growing. We are in the most sacred, highest timeline, and we're progressing no matter what. It's done. It's a done deal, baby. So, actually, what the goal is here is to notice the fourth dimension more, because the fourth dimension is the spirit world. And if we can incorporate ourselves into the spirit world, we'll remember that we too are spirit. Our vibrations will rise. We'll remember our divinity and we'll realize, oh, you know what? We're actually in the fifth dimension. Well, no shit. We've been here the whole time. That's what's going on.
I love that. And I love that. And since you're locked in, we're both moms and we both have children that are, embarking on their next step of how they're going to show up in the world and where they're going to make their impact. How do you think it's going to be different for our children, or what do you think that they need, maybe that we didn't need, or how do we support them?
First and foremost, they our children that are getting ready to be born, and the children that are here already, their matrix is shifting as we speak. So, I mean, their DNA is moving in their bodies like popcorn. It's always shifting or turning like one of those things you put in the yard and you that spins. That's what their DNA looks like spiritually. It's always changing, it's adapting. Uh, if I compare that, if I ask the angels to show me the DNA of, let's say, one of my grandparents when they were on Earth, their DNA was quiet. It was sedentary, loving, but sedentary. It's different now. And anyone who is older than that and on a spiritual journey, same thing. Our DNA, spiritual DNA, and our physical DNA is popcorning. So we're allowed to heal ourselves. We're allowed to remember. We're allowed to decode things that don't feel right, look into subtext, ask more questions. Um, so our job as guides is, first of all, to remember that we are guides. We don't own anyone. We don't push belief systems anymore. We create a safe container. So remembering that we provide emotional safety on a consistent basis is everything, because our people, every person, whether they're young or we're talking about the inner child inside, we're beginning to navigate the way to push out of our comfort zones. So if we can come home to each other and know that, wow, I went out on a limb today and it was scary, but I can come home and I know what I'm going to get at home. I know that it's safe. I know that I can drop my shoes at the door and it's Tuesday taco night. Every is something in consistency, safe container. And at the same time, say to each other, I'm glad you feel safe here, but you're being kind of mean to me. We still have boundaries with each other. It's being there for each other. And then I also hear some of my mentors from the seraphim realm. They're training the new babies who are coming in to advocate for themselves in a way that it feels like they're chameleons, they're code switchers. They can read the room really well. And we are to watch them do this because we have been taught, according to the angels, to see a problem, fix the problem, see a problem, fix the problem. We don't need to fix this. There's nothing to be fixed. So when these children coming in, plus the ones that are here, when they're going to need more time to process as things are changing in the world, to collaborate together to find the fixes. We're not to do that. Give them space.
I love that. I love that. I say to my daughter often, like, you were brought here to shift the planet and the frequency. She's
Yes.
like, that's a lot of pressure, mom. That's a lot of pressure. I'm like, well, you're perfectly equipped. Don't worry. It's not really supposed to be a lot of pressure.
Yes, I hear the mantra from the angels a lot when people say that I feel pressured. What's my purpose? That's so much pressure. Just show up. You're doing it
Mhm.
by breathing. Just show up. And
Show
that's
up.
all it is. Just show up. I used to be
Mm.
very nervous and when I functioned as a psychic medium, I would get really nervous that, well, I'm gonna have this client in front of me. What if their family doesn't show up? What if I don't get any messages? And the fear would halt my success. And then one of my guides said, if you could trust us and just show up to the meeting, we'll do everything else. And once I really trusted that, everything changed. My whole life changed. And I felt at first a little lazy because, we're taught Do everything better than it was when you arrived. Work, 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 work. That's in my heart. But really, it's just so soft. You just show up and it's okay, put me in, coach.
Great reminder. It's a great reminder. I think this conversation hopefully gives people the freedom to realize that they're not their circumstances, and showing up is really what the angels are expecting you to do in the higher self. And I feel like for many of us, we complicate it so quickly that we end up not doing anything, and we don't lean into what is calling us, and we don't lean into those yeses that excite us. So it's so great to have you on, just sharing from the other side and through you the messages that are so important and sometimes can be so simple.
Mm, it should be simple. Yes, we don't need to complicate things.
Mhm.
Simple, simple
Well,
and
before I
loving.
let you go, and I want to hear a little bit about your work, but my own personal question for you, because I hear this a lot and I still don't know how I feel about the whole parallel lives. Like, are
Yes.
we living parallel lives? Are there multiple dimensions, when we go to sleep? So I'd just love for you to just shine a little bit of light on your perspective based on your connection.
All right. I work a lot in quantum mechanics, quantum physics, part of my work, part of my passion. And what I notice in that work is when we as people make a major decision, the opposite of that decision makes a timeline, an alternate timeline. So when I access that timeline for myself and my own timelines or for a client, the person looks the same. It looks like this day, but there's something significantly different in that version. So let's say I chose to have children in this lifetime, but there's an alternate of me that doesn't have children. So I can go into that timeline and so what did that version of Rachel make of her life? So I can go in and be a fly on the wall. I do not interact because we don't want to change timelines, but I can seek guidance by saying, okay, that must be very brave. What does that look like with no obligations on a Tuesday? I can see what wisdom is there. Also, if there's something I desire in this timeline, I desire it because it's already happening in one of my parallels. I own it. So there is a process where I can breathe through my breath. I can imagine quite simply what I want to heal or amplify or create with as much detail as possible. Then I create a scent, baking bread, essential oil. I light a candle, I let it fill the room, incense. As soon as I have that thought in my head, I breathe the scent, that copies it from another timeline. Then I exhale it into this timeline. It's a copy and paste process. It's technical, it's not emotional. And you just do it one time. And then your job after that is to do the action items that would create that. So if it's a career, you've copied and pasted the energy of that good stuff. Then you do what it takes to build your resume, make the calls. So parallels are very important. The parallels are not as powerful as they used to be because we've got that beautiful silvery disco ball looking bandwidth. So some of the parallels have to do with the 3D timeline that are fading. So when you go into your parallels, you want to go in and ask the question, what is for my best and highest good? Because that is what you'll see. That's what's resonating. You won't see as much about, oh, there's the dummy that I broke up with. You won't really see that stuff. It doesn't resonate anymore. It might even look black or feel black and white. Those are parallels.
That is super cool. I haven't heard it described that way, and I really enjoy that. And I love the idea of popping over, just checking it out and copying and pasting what is
Yeah.
working.
Think of a TV that's playing all channels of you, and you can turn the channel to channel 7. That's a parallel. Okay, channel 8. What am I doing in that channel? And you don't see them because you're not tuned into that channel. You're tuned into your core, channel 1. You're in channel 1. So everybody right now has about 10 or 11 strong parallels that are working. We have many tiny, tiny ones that fade out after a month or so because we think some of our decisions are really important, but they're not. But the major ones, about 10 or 11. So think about 10 or 11 channels on the TV. So if you think, okay, I'm going to go into meditation and I'm going to experience, not see, but experience channel 8 on an old TV, see what happens.
I love that. I'm going to do that. I'm excited
Yeah, have
about that. I
fun.
have already know what I'm going to go visit in other channels. So all
Good.
of your links are below and I love following you. You have such beautiful posts and I just love how personal you are and even on your website, how connecting you are right from the get-go.
Thank
So
you.
tell us a little bit about the work you're doing and what's on your horizon.
I'm really passionate about my podcast, Angel Talk, because like you, I love to give smaller, bite-sized episodes because we talk about important things that need processing. It's nice to listen to something and then go on a walk. So I'm really connected to that idea. So I would invite people to my podcast. It's on all the platforms. And I also see people for sessions. If you feel guided, you can go to my website to request a session. And it's my name, rachelcorpus.com. As you said, the links are there. I'm just about to publish my first Oracle card deck coming soon in the next few months. So watch my website for that. And I'm starting to write a book about the energy of the universe, which is called Loosh. And so the angels are channeling that through me. So yeah, if anybody knows anything about Loosh that they want to share, send me a message through my website and I'll include your quote, or you could collaborate with me with what you know. I'm always willing to learn.
Mm, that feels so good. And I asked my friend Sandra if she knows, because I feel like that's something. She works with a seraphim. I wonder if she knows about
Oh,
Luge. I'll have to
she's
ask
probably
her.
one of us. Yeah,
Yes, yes, she's very powerful out of Naples, Florida. So with that,
I can feel her. Nice. Thanks.
yeah, she's wonderful. I'll send you her contact. So I could talk to you all day. This is just so beautiful. I love your vibration and I love the work that you're doing, Rachel. And I'm just so honored that you would come and share your journey with us here.
Thank you. I feel the same. I feel the same. And it's so nice to be with your audience. I can feel them and I can feel your heart. So just I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. And thank you from all the angelic realm as well. They're clapping and they're sending their blessings and they're asking everyone to go outside and ask the clouds to show them a message from the angels, and they'll show you a little picture in the clouds, and that's specifically for you from them.
I will do that. My kids will laugh because I'm always looking at clouds and telling them, look at this cloud and look at that cloud. And do you think there's spaceships in the clouds? And they're
There
always like,
are
I think there are too. And there's big ones
moms.
and small ones. And they're just always like, Mom, you are crazy. But I'm like, one day you will see them too.
Yes, that's right.
With that, Rachel, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I look forward to working with you and staying connected. And for
Same.
everybody listening, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again here next week.